Strength, positioning, and extreme pace. Just how good was Carlos Tevez? Along with Rooney and Ronaldo, he was part of arguably the most fearsome attack trios in the history of the Premier League. So how did this celebrated striker from Argentina become one of the most controversial figures in English football? Stay tuned as we look at the life story of a rowdy kid from a bad neighborhood who found his way to the very top of football. Tevez was raised in the neighborhood of Fuerte Apache, a town that you would not want to visit. In his own words, if you looked out of the window when it was dark, what you saw would scare anyone. One thing that did work out in his favor was his early start with football. When the other kids around him were getting themselves involved in drugs and other vices, Carlos was just happy kicking the ball around. His club career started at the age of 16, when he joined Boca Juniors in 2001. Boca went on to become the champions of America by winning the 2001 Copa Libertadores. That brought them face to face with the German giants Bayern Munich in the Intercontinental Cup. In the end, they fell just short of becoming the world champs as they lost the game 1-0. Although Tevez did not feature in the game, it was a dream start to his career at Boca. In his first ever season as a 16-year-old teenager, Tevez scored 1 goal in 11 league games for Boca Juniors, not too shabby for a player as young as he was. In the second season, Tevez's goal tally increased to 10 in just 32 appearances. In his third season, Boca Juniors again won the Copa Libertadores in 2003, but this time it was Tevez that led them to the title. He was voted the player of the tournament. This time, the opponents of Boca in the Intercontinental Cup were the revered AC Milan, but the Boca Juniors team was also not the same as last time. This time, they had Carlos Tevez in the squad. Boca Juniors went on to win the Intercontinental Cup 3-1 on penalties. In his fourth season as a Boca Junior player, Tevez scored an incredible 12 goals in 23 appearances and helped Boca to become the champions of Torneo Apertura and the runners-up of Torneo Clausura. As the media was starting to see him as the potential heir to Diego Maradona's number 10 shirt, Tevez was preparing to take his leave. He joined the Brazilian side Corinthians in January 2005, which became the biggest transfer deal in the history of South American football. And rightly so, because in his first season, he led the team to their fourth Campeonato Brasileiro, also winning the league's Best Player award by scoring 20 league goals. It was the first time since 1976 that a non-Brazilian player had won this award. Tevez was already making history there, but he wasn't content with just that. After conquering Brazil, it was now time to move to a bigger challenge, the Premier League. On the 31st of August 2006, Tevez and Javier Mascherano signed for West Ham United. West Ham didn't leave any stones unturned to sign Tevez and Mascherano. They even breached the Premier League rules to get the Argentinian pair to play for them. This eventually led to a heavy fine of £5.5 million. Despite so much anticipation, Tevez's West Ham campaign didn't go as well as everyone had hoped for. After his debut against Aston Villa, West Ham went on a winless streak for 9 matches that saw them exit the UEFA Cup and the League Cup. Did you know that Tevez's distinctive scar that runs down his neck from his right ear to his chest was from being accidentally scalded with boiling water as a child, which caused third-degree burns and kept him hospitalized in intensive care for nearly 2 months? He refused to get rid of the third-degree burn marks despite offers of all-expense-paid surgery from clubs that he played for. Tevez's career was full of controversies, and the first of them surfaced after only a couple of months at West Ham. In November, the world saw an angry Tevez throwing a tantrum and leaving early after being subbed out in a league game against Sheffield United. The most important goal of his West Ham tenure came in the final league match against Manchester United. West Ham were on the brink of relegation and they had to produce a result. Tevez came to the rescue of the club and scored the only goal in a 1-0 victory over the Reds. This result saved West Ham from relegation, and the fans started seeing a potential club hero in Carlos Tevez, only to be disappointed by the news that he was set on leaving West Ham. Although West Ham survived the Premier League relegation, they had to pay a massive £20 million as compensation to the relegated Sheffield United because of the controversial signing of Carlos Tevez. After spending only a season at West Ham, reports started to surface that Tevez had agreed to join Manchester United. But West Ham didn't want to let go of the player they had paid heavy fines for. Finally, the FA intervened and settled the issue that resulted in Tevez joining Manchester United on a 2-year loan deal. This marked the beginning of one of the deadliest trios in Premier League history: Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez. The first season saw him winning everything at Old Trafford: the Premier League title and the Champions League, scoring 14 goals in the league and 4 in the Champions League. The next season was not as successful, where he could only manage 2 goals in the Champions League and 5 in the Premier League. United went on to win the Premier League, but couldn't beat the unstoppable Barcelona in the Champions League final. It was going well for both Tevez and Man United, and everyone believed that he would be signed on a permanent deal. But the contract talks were delayed from United's end, and when they did approach him, it was already too late, as Tevez was done with Old Trafford. Despite being betrayed by United's management, Tevez knew better than to move to their northwest rivals Liverpool, so he signed for their noisy neighbours Man City instead. Despite contributing so much to the club, he is still regarded as one of the biggest traitors in the club's history. In his first season as a Citizen, Tevez scored an impressive 23 league goals in just 35 appearances and received the Premier League Player of the Month award for his 7 goals in 6 matches in December 2009. Despite his individual brilliance, he couldn't lead City to any titles, as the team was still in the building phase. But in appreciation for his efforts, he was given 2 club awards: the Etihad Player of the Year and the Players Player of the Year. Despite becoming the captain of the team, out of the blue, Tevez handed a written transfer request to the club in December 2010 that he eventually withdrew on the 20th of December. After this little episode, he regained his composure and morale and continued his free-scoring run. In the same season, Tevez reached the 50-goal mark for the club in just 73 appearances, the second fastest in the club's history. Tevez was again at the centre of the drama when he refused to come on as a substitute in the Champions League game against Bayern Munich when the Citizens were down by 2-0. This led to his widespread condemnation by fans and pundits alike. He was eventually sent on garden leave to cool off. While the team was engaged in an intense struggle for the title, Tevez was pictured playing golf, further fueling the hatred. He eventually returned to training in February with the backing of other players and publicly apologized for his conduct. From there on, he contributed 4 goals to the title-winning campaign of Manchester City. The following season of 2012-13 saw him scoring 11 goals in 34 games, which took him to a record 50 goals for Manchester City in Premier League, becoming the first player in the club's history to achieve this feat. After somewhat success and a rather controversial spell of 3 seasons with Manchester City, it was time to say goodbye to the Premier League. Tevez joined Juventus on a 3-year deal and scored 21 goals in all competitions in his first season, winning the Juve's Player of the Season award and leading them to their 30th Serie A title. In his second season, he reached the magical figure of the 50-goal mark for Juventus, leading Juventus to the final of the Champions League in 2015, where they lost to Barcelona 3-1. With his 20 goals in Serie A that season, Juventus held on to the Italian crown for the 4th consecutive season. Carlos returned to Boca Juniors to fulfill his dream of winning the Argentine Primera Division. He achieved his goal in the very first season, winning not only the Argentine Primera Division but also the Copa Argentina double. He became the first footballer to win 2 domestic league and cup doubles in a calendar year. After another season with Boca, he signed for Shanghai Shenhua in the Chinese Super League in December 2016 on an annual salary of $41 million, which made him the highest-earning footballer in the world. But he failed to impress his coach and was criticized for being overweight and unfit to play. Tevez himself lacked the motivation to play in the Chinese league and described his time there as a holiday. Following his holiday in China, he returned for the 3rd time to Boca Juniors on the 5th of January 2018, adding Primera Division titles of 2017-18 and 2019-20 on his vast collection of silverware. On the 4th of June 2021, he announced his leave from Boca Juniors, while leaving the option of continuing to play elsewhere open. Style of play. Tevez is naturally gifted when it comes to his positioning, vision, and creativity. Combine that with his incredible work ethic and a strong, sturdy structure, and you've got yourself a perfect striker. Not only that, but he is also known for his bursts of speed and his never-ending stamina, which make him a key player when it came to avoiding counterattacks. To top it all, he had a powerful shot that was difficult to stop even if it went straight into the hands of the keeper. All of these traits made him one of the best strikers in Europe. Carlos Tevez performed for every club that he went to, but he seemed to lack a strong enough mindset and an ability to control the strong temper of his that often landed him in trouble. But despite all the controversies and a less than ideal attitude at times, the fact remains that he is one of the greatest strikers of the last couple of decades. With that, we come to the end of today's video. Which player do you want next to be featured in our Legendary Players series? Let us know down in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.